The last of the major pro sports leagues is off and rolling, and college basketball is ready to go as well. BetOnline remains your top spot for all your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, and NHL are in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and remember to use our promo code Bleav for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Again, that's promo code BLEAV for 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Bleav in the Arizona Cardinals. It is the Arizona Cardinals centric specific show where, of course, we wax poetic about the Arizona Cardinals here in the metropolitan Phoenix area. And I am one of your co-hosts. I am Javon J. Love Adams. And with me, as always, is a man who played not only professional baseball, but he also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm talking about none other than author and motivational speaker, Ed Smith. What is good, my brother?
Chillin' Jay, what's going on, man? Creeping toward that weekend and somebody's debut coming up here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we know we have, again, we do this twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays, we look at the game that just happened and maybe some of what we think are going to be some of the themes or topics that either resulted or came as a result of that game, or that will be maybe following up on at some point during the second show of the week. And Thursday, we look ahead to the next opponent. This might be a little bit different because it's like you said, there's somebody that's going to be debuting this week, but the Arizona Cardinals will be welcoming the Atlanta Falcons into State Farm Stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. And I want your thoughts on because you watched, you told me we had a discussion one time on our terrestrial show, and I said, well, what about Ritter? Ritter's not as bad as they say. And you looked at me and you said, he's bad, Jay. He's bad. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But let's not bury the lead. Kyler Murray is going to be starting this week. Kyler is back and he is active. So much uncertainty that goes around with it. I'm going to throw something out at you. I was listening to Bickley and Murata this morning, and it's interesting because that he pointed this out, and it's true. If Kyler had proven himself to be a franchise quarterback, this wouldn't even be, the weird area that we're in right now wouldn't even exist, because it wouldn't be, do we need to draft a quarterback in the first round, or look at quarterback, or look to trade our starting quarterback to try to get a draft, a haul for draft picks and things like that. And I wanted your take on that and your response to that.
Well, doesn't it feel like Murray is auditioning right now?
Yes.
Rather than like, say if this was throwing a name, if this was Joe Burrow, they'd be like, well, we're waiting till Joe is healthy, period. We're not going to rush him. When he's ready, he's ready. And if he's not ready this year, forget it. We'll put him on the shelf and we'll see him in 2024. It's almost like the speculation is like, well, we got to play him so we can see what he's like, and like almost try him out to see if he's worth the franchise, moniker. And do we go draft another quarterback if he isn't? There's all kind of questions, which leads me to, if you have to question whether he's a franchise quarterback, is he really? I mean, you look at, there's a list of 5 to 7 that you're just like, they're like, if anybody called a team regarding Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Trevor Lawrence, they would laugh at you and hang up the phone like, like it was a April Fool's joke. Whereas we're still trying to figure out, and part of that is because of how Murray played, how he was perceived as a leader, how he was coddled a little bit by the earlier regime, meaning Kingsbury and Keim. They put him on the pedestal, and almost like without question. And there has been question outside, for sure. And then obviously with the contract situation and all that kind of stuff, it's a weird dynamic. And then, Jay, you throw in the fact that he is not their product, meaning Ossenfort and Gannon, they're sitting there scratching their heads too, trying to figure out, is this our guy? And there's so much that's around this, the injury possibility, the contract situation, just like so many ingredients in this soup that we don't know whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether, it's going to be interesting. And then how do they handle it, Jay? Do they play him a couple, maybe three games, and then, hey, we've seen enough. Let's shut this down, because you got to remember this is a 1-8.
I think that because you've been consistent with your thought with that thought over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I think that's interesting. If they do that, the more you say it, the more you remain steadfast in that opinion. I do lean that that's probably the best way to go, because you never know. And there's that famous story of you telling me about going into training camp, and one of your teammates in that said training camp had injured himself outside of training camp, and then went into and then said, all right, this is what we're gonna do, so I can make sure to at least get paid this season. I got to get this money, right? So he goes in and then he's, oh wow, he's injured. But so that notwithstanding, is that you never know the mindset of somebody saying, well, I'm trying to get this money, so I'm gonna just, maybe I'll get hurt, I'll get injured, and therefore they'll have to keep me here, or I'll limit their options. But that is something that I think that has to be on the table. It's an interesting way to go about it, but it's something that you have to consider, because if he does get injured, just because of the thinness of the offensive line, all those things, you're at great risk.
Well, the other complicated thing about this, Jay, this team is 1-8, and what is, at this point, what is the purpose? The purpose. Every team goes into the season, regardless of what the roster is, and they're hoping, hey, maybe we'll catch lightning. The good teams know we're fighting for playoffs and championship, world title, that type of thing. The bad teams, well, maybe we'll catch lightning in a bottle, and we'll have one of those magical seasons, and we'll maybe get into the playoffs. You just never know. But you get to a point in every season, we've been at that point for weeks. At 1-8, you're not playing for the playoffs, Jay. What are you playing for? You're playing to evaluate talent at this point in time, and to look at the future, like what we're building toward. There's no championship season at 1-8. I just, take that off the table. So the problem there then becomes, what are you playing for? What are you playing Murray for? The risk at some point outweighs the reward. At 1-8, we put them out there, and you're like, hey, they're crossing their fingers. Lord, they're going to say a prayer before every game. Lord, please just let the man get out there and just don't get hurt. Because we all know the implications and the ramifications. If he goes down, they're on the hook for a whole bunch of movies, then they cannot make any moves. They're hoping, hey, he goes out there, and for 2 or 3 games, he looks like, yeah, that's what we were looking for, because then their options become, he is our guy, or he's not our guy, but we showed just enough to other teams that are out there that might not be in a position to draft a quarterback because they're not at the front of the lottery line. But if we dangle him out there, he showed that he's a franchise guy. Maybe they'll be tempted enough to come take this dude, take him off our hands, because we have plans to do other things. So that's what they're hoping and crossing their fingers for. It'd be hard for them, like, if their plans aren't to keep Murray as the franchise quarterback, it would really be hard to keep him on the shelf the entire, like, hey, we're just gonna put him on pup, and then all of a sudden, at the off season comes, hey guys, you want to come take a look at our franchise quarterback? And other teams like, well, last time we saw him, he was hobbling off the field. You had to cart him off the field. Right. So there's a method to their madness. We're gonna have to watch, because you and I are in a position, Jay, where we're supposed to be the experts. So people are asking us every time I do an interview, or, hey, so what's going on with Kyler Murray? What do you think? I'm like, I don't know. We got to watch just like everybody else to see the plan unfold. Here's Act 1 of the play getting ready to happen. Actually, I guess this will be Act 2, because leading up to this point, everything they did with Josh Dobbs, they trade him, they activate Murray. That's all Act 1. Now, Act 2 is getting him on the field, and we'll now get a chance to see, one, what he looks like. Does he fit in this offense? He's going to have some rust on him. So we're gonna have to watch and see, and then we'll have to decipher, like in 2 or 3 weeks. And they're like, "Yep, we see enough. That's it." And we're like, "Yeah, he looked pretty good. He looked halfway decent." And then the speculation will begin. Do they roll with him, or were they just showing him so they can shop him at some point?
Indeed, indeed. So I saw the question posed. I think it was on ESPN. Something, and I'll pose that same question to you. When it comes to running, no, I think it was on Arizona Sports. When it comes to running, do you allow him to run? Do you give him the green light to run? Because we know that's a part of his game. He's not run play guy, run up the middle or things like that, but that kind of the rolling out and then using his legs a little bit. Do you encourage him to do that?
Here's the thing, Jay. That's a tough question. You don't encourage him or discourage him to do anything. You ask him to go out and just play his game to the best of his ability. The problem is, where is he going to be mentally with that leg? He might be a little gun shy. We've watched him. I've watched him the last few years. When pressure gets around him, what does he do? If he can't hit that escape button to get out, what does he do? Bloop, just drop on that booty, right?
Yep.
So we might see that. The problem with that is, with a knee injury, bro, everything is. it's so. You got to watch it. I remember when I went my first action back on the field after rupturing my MCL. Every move I felt like was magnified in my head. I knew I was scared to cut. I was scared people around my feet. I was blocking, and I was conscious of how I got hurt in the first place. People landed on me. It was all in my head. Now, Murray's a quarterback. He's going to have everything out of his head to perform, because as a quarterback, we always talk about it. You got to keep your eyes up, looking down the field. You can't be worrying about rush around you or stuff around your feet. When you get those happy feet, you're not getting your reads. So it's going to be tough for him live. And here's the other thing, Jay, live action right out the box in the regular season. He gets no ramp up. He gets no, hey, this is preseason. We're going to play him 3 series and get him out of there. That type of thing, where he knew how many was, and then this is only practice, so it doesn't count. We already got it scripted. We're going to, a couple handoffs to see how he can come from on the center, a couple read options, maybe 2 or 3 pass plays, and then that's it. We like the deal at the table. That's it. We got, this isn't that situation. This is regular season. You don't have we're going in on a pitch count. He's the starter. You're expecting him to play the whole game unless something happens, So, at this point, you can't discourage him or encourage him. You just say, Kyler, hey, this first action back. I know it's tough. Go out there and give us what you got. And I will say this, all else fails, get down. Bro, we don't need you taking any hits. We don't need to be no hero. When you scramble, slide. Get out of bounds, that type of thing. But it's going to be really interesting just because of the nature of this situation. It's so uncomfortable in so many different ways, but what can you do?
Yeah, again, with and Bleav in the Arizona Cardinals, he's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. One of the things that Kyler is not going to do is try to absorb a hit. That we know that's not his game. And I'm not trying to say it has to be him. In order to be a real quarterback, you got to go up you got to absorb that hit. Nah, man, life, preservation, self-preservation. But James Conner practiced. So he may be back. I didn't realize this. I heard this stat. Since he's been out, the Cardinals have not had a touchdown by a running back since he has been on the injured list. That's so. Of course, he is a welcomed addition. What could that mean for maybe Kyler's confidence when you have a running back like him who loves punishment? He loves to dish it out. But what does that mean if Conner is indeed active for this game? Because we're not sure yet. We just know that he practiced on Wednesday. So what does that mean?
If I'm the offensive coordinator, knowing all circumstances and everything like that, and I know Gannon is talking to Petting and the rest of them, like, look, let's try not to put Kyler in any difficult situations. And if I
think Austin Ford is probably, this is the week that he's sitting in all these meetings. Hey, look, man, I'm just trying to tell you, hey, I can't have him get hurt, man. I can't have that young man get hurt. I need him. I need him safe after. I need him walk. I need him upright after every game he plays.
Well, here's the thing: information trickles downstream. So Austin Ford is talking to Gannon. Gannon is talking to Petzing. Petzing is talking to every position coach. And the message is, let's keep him clean. And if I'm doing anything, I'm going to the running backs coach. Hey, how's James feeling today? James ready to go. He's ready to go. All right, to let James know it's going to be a heavy workload for him. Tell him get his carb load in on Saturday, because come Sunday, we riding him like the Lone Ranger Road Silver or whatever his horse's name was, because that's the easiest thing to do. You want to, kind of wean Murray back in, bruh, turn around and hand that ball off about 35, 40 times. And I'm not saying 35, 40 to James, but a whole bunch to James. Our snap count, whatever it is, hey, we're going to get you about 20 passing plays, and don't do anything stupid. We're going to have some quick hitters. This game plan is not for Murray to be looking down the field, throwing the ball long. This is a whole bunch of slants and some bubble screens and stuff over the middle of the field. We're not dropping them 7 steps and stuff like that. That should be the game plan. That's what I anticipate, especially because Murray has not had any offseason. This isn't a preseason game. Everybody's going to be coming after you, and we want to try to get this ball out of your hands as fast as possible to avoid. He's not going to have his timing. He's not, the speed is going to be unbelievable. Last time he saw live action was December last year, or November last year, whatever it was. Yeah. The speed, even for a veteran, his head is going to be swimming. It's going to be like somebody turned the thing on fast, So, like I said, the game plan should be really simple and really quick. And let's protect Kyler as much as possible. And James, you better strap it up today, on Sunday, because you're gonna get your work in. And I mean that should be the logical explanation and route they should go. We've all seen that in this league. Sometimes it can be some stupidness going on. I don't think they're gonna be stupid with this one though. Protect your assets.
All right, so leave me with this. This is a slightly dry, shrunken version of Bleav in the Arizona Cardinals. But leave me with this: what are we seeing? What should we expect to see in this Atlanta Falcons team that's coming in on the, because they have some weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Apparently, from what you tell me and the way I look at the numbers, their quarterback, the head of that offense, is not able to take advantage of the weapons that he has.
Well, they're going with Heineke. Heineke started last week, and the word is Heineke's getting the start. They're done with Ritter. As far as like right now, that dude, I mean, God bless him. He's not a starting quarterback in this league, and what they had saw or envisioned, I have no idea. But they've turned the page. They're going to Tyler Heineke, and he's their man. Now Heineke, he can play a little bit.
He's a backup too. He's backup, but yeah.
He's a backup too. He's a dude, he's shown some flash, but he's a good backup. So we're gonna get, they've got some weapons over there with Bijan and tight end, and they got some weapons. They just can't figure that quarterback spot out. I would say they're going to come over here and give us their best shot with Taylor Heineke, Tyler, whatever, Heineke. They'll throw them at us, and this is going to be an ugly game. This is one of those game over in the corner, and I'll peek at it every now and then, but this is not going to be pretty. If you're looking for beautiful football, you're not going to be on this game, in my opinion. Now, all eyes will be on it because of Murray. That's the draw. Everybody's going to want to see how he plays, what he looks like coming back. So that's the big reason to have this game on and watch it, not because of the matchup or, like I said, you got a 1-7 team and a 2 whatever. This is not good. It's not good football.
All right, so how do you see this one playing out then? Because the Falcons are coming in 4-5, and of course we know the Cardinals are 1-8. So I would probably lean to it would stand to reason that you would think that the Falcons would come out on top of this one. But what do you say on this? And looking at the game, it's a minus. Wait, hold on. Did I see this right? I'm trying to look at -1.5. How about that? Ain't that something?
I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm actually leaning Cardinals in this one. The Falcons have looked very, pedestrian at best. And like I said, you got the Heineke coming over here as the running this offense. Now here's how it works. When I pick the Falcons, they lose. When I pick against them, they figure out a way to mess my sheet up every week and win. So this one, I'm actually on the fence on this one, but I'm actually leaning Cardinals in this one just because of the the burst of Murray coming back, I think he'll do just enough to score enough, and the defense will play hard and good enough to keep us 1 point ahead of the Falcons. This is one of those ugly, like 18-17 games, something like that. But yeah, I'm picking the Cardinals in this game. First time all year that I'm picking the Cardinals. First time all year.
Interesting.
And they still, even with this Falcons team coming, still have not been favored in a game yet this season.
Indeed. Yeah, that I would probably even with the question mark at the quarterback spot, I would say I'd probably still go Atlanta in this one. So yeah, probably it. Maybe
tough one.
21-19, 24-21, something around there. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah. All right. So he is Ed Smith. I am Javon Adams. Tell a friend to tell a friend about what we have going on here. I Bleav in the Arizona Cardinals. We do this thing twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. As always, we are presented by Bet Online. And as we always like to say around this time, you can